Things have changed drastically, but I think churches will not return to normal, I think, after COVID.
That's a blessing in disguise. I think there's a lot of what I call program-driven institutional church, which is very focused on the physical building and on all the programs in that building, and it's not focused on doing a life with a small group of people where you walk together and support each other.
Do you feel enclosed sometimes during concerts, that people more or less want to enclose you in their own program while explaining the songs, for instance, that you have less time for that? Nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge season of change, and the church is wrestling, people of faith are wrestling with the implications of our beliefs. And for me, a switch hopefully to less focus on our system of beliefs and more on a way of life. When you focus on a system of beliefs, then the focus is on who's right and who's wrong. And we try and micromanage other people's beliefs instead of focusing more on how we live and how we treat other people. And does our belief actually lead to good fruit in our interpersonal relationships?
And I think also seeing God as a person instead of a concept or a doctrine or whatever.
Well, for me, one of my great concerns in the modern worship movement has been this focus on power, that God is huge and he's on our side and he's not on your side, you know, rather than focusing more on the person of Jesus, who came to reveal not so much the greatness of God, but the compassion, the love, the coming alongside and just being with us.
Everything is makeable through faith, and that's not the reality. I think you experience, and I experience myself too, brokenness in our families.
Our spiritual life is like riding a tricycle. The front wheel is experience, and the back wheel is our scripture and tradition. It's really important to acknowledge and admit that the front wheel is experience. It's impossible to read scripture and not read it through the lens of our experience. Like for me, when I became a father of a special needs son who couldn't talk, who couldn't buy into any of the system of beliefs, all of a sudden, I started shifting away from this complete adherence to no, it's all about having the right beliefs, because my own son can never jump through the evangelical hoops.
That's a real handicap, in fact, our theology. There's a lot of stuff going on in teachings as well. The makeability that suffering will end at the end of the tunnel. Suffering can be a part of our entire life. And that's not popular. For most people, that's reality. But there is brokenness, there is illness, there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
So we have to learn to find a level of contentment and peace in the middle of our real life. It's in the middle of our grief, in the middle of our pain. There can be peace, but the pain and the other stuff doesn't go away. It's just that God is with us in it.
We can feel useless in periods of our lives, while He is just trying to get our attention, to get more intimate with Him, I think.
And just to share in the reality of what life is like in this universe. We go through seasons. We go through times when we cannot do. We just have to be. It's about internal fruit. It's about peace and an inner restoration so that you can produce outward again.
I think that there are explicit things in which God shows His being, but it's just in the ordinary things most of the times. In wildlife, in music.
Francis Collins, who was head of the Human Genome Project, sees no conflict between pursuing scientific knowledge and having a deep faith. The miracle and the probability of our existence, the very existence of this universe, is on a knife's edge that is so specific. It's just too wondrous.
Like a jigsaw puzzle. You put something on the table, I put something on the table, and if you look at the complete picture, we get more understanding of who God is. We will need an eternity to get to know Him even better than that.